On this day in history, January 30th. In 1164, King Henry II of England issued the Constitutions of Clarendon, a set of 16 articles aimed at delineating the boundaries between royal authority and ecclesiastical power. These articles sought to restrict ecclesiastical privileges and curb the power of church courts, asserting the king's rights over the church. The most controversial provisions included clauses that required clergy convicted in church courts to be punished by royal courts and prohibited church officials from leaving the kingdom without royal permission. Thomas Becket, the Archbishop of Canterbury, staunchly opposed these measures, leading to a significant conflict between him and the king. This dispute eventually culminated in Becket's murder in 1170 and his subsequent martyrdom. On January 30th, 1698, Scottish privateer Captain William Kidd captured the Quedagh Merchant, an Armenian merchant vessel. The ship, laden with valuable cargo, was seized in the Indian Ocean. This act was deemed piracy, leading to Kidd's arrest and execution. The capture of the Quedagh Merchant caused a scandal throughout the British Empire, as it hurt Britain's safe trading status along the African and Indian coasts. In 1774, during his second voyage, British explorer Captain James Cook reached a record southern latitude of 71 degrees 10 feet, approximately 1,820 kilometers, 1,130 miles, from the South Pole. This achievement demonstrated the limits of southern navigation at the time and provided valuable information about the Antarctic region. After the original Library of Congress was burned by British forces during the War of 1812, it was re-established in 1815 with the acquisition of Thomas Jefferson's personal library of 6,500 volumes. Jefferson's collection formed the foundation of the new library, significantly expanding its scope and diversity. On January 30th, 1862, the USS Monitor, the U.S. Navy's first ironclad warship, was launched. Its innovative design featured a revolving turret, marking a significant advancement in naval engineering. The Monitor played a crucial role in the Battle of Hampton Roads during the American Civil War, signaling a new era in naval warfare. In 1873, French author Jules Verne published Around the World in 80 Days through publisher Pierre-Jules Hetzel. The adventure novel follows protagonist Phileas Fogg's attempt to circumnavigate the globe in 80 days, capturing the imagination of readers with its depiction of global travel during the 19th century. The Imperial Library in Calcutta, now Kolkata, opened its doors to the public in 1903. Today known as the National Library of India, it stands as the country's largest library, housing a vast collection of books, manuscripts, and other literary materials. In 1911, the first recorded rescue of an air passenger by a ship occurred near Havana, Cuba. This event marked a milestone in aviation history, highlighting the emerging challenges and safety considerations of early air travel. Following the appointment of Adolf Hitler as Chancellor of Germany in 1933, General Erich Ludendorff, a former World War I colleague, sent a letter to President Paul von Hindenburg. In it, he warned that Hitler would plunge the nation into the abyss and bring inconceivable misery, a prescient observation of the impending turmoil. In 1934, the U.S. government sponsored its first theatrical presentation in New York City. This initiative was part of the New Deal's efforts to support the arts during the Great Depression, leading to the establishment of programs like the Federal Theater Project. In 1943, members of the Dutch Protestant resistance against German occupation began publishing the underground newspaper Trouw, Loyal, in the Netherlands. The publication became a significant voice of dissent and resistance during World War II. On January 30th, 1948, Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated in the garden of a New Delhi home by Nathuram Godse, a Hindu extremist. Gandhi's death marked a profound loss for India and the world, as he was a leading figure in the non-violent struggle for India's independence. In 1952, American mathematician D.H. Lemmer and computer programmer R.M. Robinson verified that 2 to the power of 521 minus 1 and 2 to the power of 607 minus 1 are Mersenne prime numbers. They used the standard's Western Automatic Computer, SWAC, at the Institute for Numerical Analysis at the University of California, Los Angeles, marking a significant achievement in computational mathematics. In 1957, the U.S. Congress accepted the Eisenhower Doctrine, which offered American aid to Arab countries threatened by communist aggression. This policy aimed to contain the spread of communism during the Cold War era. In 1958, the UK House of Lords passed a bill allowing women to take seats, marking a significant step toward gender equality in British politics. In 1960, the CIA authorized Lockheed to produce a new U-2 aircraft, codenamed Oxcott. This project was intended to create an advanced reconnaissance aircraft for high-altitude surveillance during the Cold War, enhancing U.S. intelligence capabilities. In 1961, Bobby Darin became the youngest performer to headline a television special on NBC. Darin, a versatile musician known for hits like Mac the Knife, showcased his talent and solidified his place as a prominent entertainer of the era. Ivan Sutherland submitted his thesis in 1963, introducing Sketchpad, a groundbreaking program that was a forerunner to modern graphic user interfaces and computer-aided design, CAD. Sketchpad allowed users to interact with a computer through graphical input, revolutionizing computer graphics and engineering design. On January 30, 1968, the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese forces launched the Tet Offensive, a massive surprise attack against South Vietnamese and U.S. forces. Although the offensive was eventually repelled, it marked a turning point in public perception of the Vietnam War, undermining support for the conflict in the United States. On January 30, 1969, the Beatles performed their final live concert on the rooftop of Apple Corps headquarters in London. The impromptu 42-minute set included songs from their Let It Be album, marking the end of an era for the legendary band. On January 30, 1972, British soldiers shot 27 unarmed civilians during a civil rights march in Derry, Northern Ireland. 14 people were killed in what became known as Bloody Sunday, an event that intensified the conflict in Northern Ireland known as the Troubles. On January 30, 1973, the rock band Kiss played their first-ever live show at the Coventry Club in Queens, New York. The performance marked the beginning of their rise to fame as one of the most iconic rock bands in history. Erno Rubik filed for a patent for his Magic Cube invention on January 30, 1975. Later renamed the Rubik's Cube, it became a global sensation and one of the best-selling puzzles of all time. The Larry King Show debuted on the Mutual Broadcasting Network on January 30, 1978, broadcasting late-night interviews and call-ins from Miami, Florida. It marked the beginning of Larry King's long and influential career in broadcasting. In 1992, Ray Kurzweil published The Age of Intelligent Machines, his first book on artificial intelligence. The book predicted the rise of the Internet and discussed AI's potential impact on society, laying the groundwork for his future as a leading thinker in technology. Hungarian chess prodigy Péter Léko became the youngest chess grandmaster in history at the age of 14 on January 30, 1994. His achievement was a milestone in the world of competitive chess. On January 30, 1995, Norway's Statoil announced the formation of a consortium to supply Norwegian natural gas to European markets. This development significantly impacted energy trade in Europe and strengthened Norway's role as a major gas supplier. The Howard Stern radio show premiered in Indianapolis on WNAP 93.1 FM on January 30, 1998. Stern's controversial and irreverent style solidified his status as a leading figure in radio entertainment. On January 30, 2002, Utah Jazz forward Karl Malone became the second player in NBA history to surpass 34,000 career points. His accomplishment cemented his legacy as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, trailing only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in scoring.